During this Virtual McArt lesson, we are going to be creating our very own manicured creations. Now, in order to create these simple little masterpieces, I am using a sheet of colored paper. You could use cardstock, you could even use a canvas if you wanted to. I chose to use a colored paper so my colors and my white stands out more. You could absolutely use white paper if you would like to. I have a black colored pencil that I used to sketch my hand. I have a paper towel, small paintbrush, medium paintbrush, a little pot of water. I'm using a plate as a palette. Now the only colors I used were white, red, blue, and yellow. I mixed up the light blue, green, and orange with those colors. Now if you don't have a tiny brush for adding the fine details, you can always use the sharp end of your pencil. Now to create our super funky hands with painted nails and accessories, what we're going to do is use our hands as a template. So lay your hand down, it could be going in any direction, and have your fingers not crazy spread apart, just very loosely spread apart. Spend a second positioning your hand, and then what you're going to do is lightly, press very lightly to begin with. You can have a grown-up help you with this as well. Gently tickle around the outside of your hands, pressing lightly. Try and make sure the pencil is touching your finger as you go around. You can feel that little tickle all the way. That way you're not going to accidentally drift away from your finger and end up with one very large finger. And down off the page. Now, you can hardly see that. I have a very light hand. Now, the reason I did it lightly is because I can adjust my hand if I would like to. So I'm going to start down on my wrist here. And I'm going to lightly sketch out any chunky areas of my fingers. I want that to go away, slim them down a little bit. So I can essentially Photoshop my hand a little bit and make sure it's the way that I want it. The other thing that I'm missing is my nails. So at the end of each finger, I'm going to do a little rounded bottom and a nice rounded top. Now you can do your nails whatever shape you want. So I'm going to go ahead and actually draw in each nail here. There we go. And for your thumb, it's going to be a little to the side. See how your thumb lays to the side and you see half of your thumb and then only half of your nail. So you're only going to see half of this one there. So let's go around and finish sketching in your fingers. There we go. Wonderful. Now, as you're doing this, have a think about any accessories you might like to add to your hand as well. You could have rings, you could have a bracelet, you could even have those beautiful henna tattoos all over your hand. Whatever you would like to do for yours. Try a couple different hands and come up with some super fun designs. There we go. There is my basic hand. Now what I'm going to do is add some accessories. Now I'm thinking I'm going to do a fun little ring here with like a diamond center to it. You can do whatever you want for yours. Take your time. Perhaps you have a piece of jewelry that you like to wear all the time. There we go. And then maybe I'll do another little one that goes straight over on this little finger. And I'm going to give myself a bracelet as well. So I'm going to go around, back under my wrist a little bit there, and across. Do not worry that you see your wrist going through the bracelet here. We're going to cover it in paint and you won't see it. There we go. Let's get painting. Now, this is just like giving yourself a manicure. We're practicing painting our nails and you can do whatever design you want. I'm going to do something kind of simple just to show you how it's done. You can go wild with your manicure, do whatever you want. So what I'm going to do is use a medium but still very small brush. Use whatever you feel comfortable with. And I'm going to start with a nice base of red paint on my nails. I'm going to do lovely bright red. And once it's dried, I'm going to do some lovely white details over the top. So here we go, using my lovely bright red. Oh, that's gorgeous. There we go. Just like painting your nails. Now I'm going to go through my hand, beautiful, and do each one of my nails the same. It might need 2 coats of paint to get it nice and bright. Let's start with one and see how it looks. There we go, lovely. You can see it's still very wet there. So what I'm going to do is clean my brush off really well, getting all of the red paint out, and then I'm going to press it down onto my paper towel here. There we are. Now I am working onto a darker colored paper, so my colors stand out really bright. But I have to make sure, in order to get them to stand out, I have a nice base of white down on my jewelry first. I was using a super bright color on the nails, so I didn't worry too much about putting down a white base first. Now, what I'm going to do, same brush, white paint. I have to be patient and let the nails dry. If I try and do details over the top whilst it's wet, they're gonna blend together, and I don't want that. So I'm going to add just a nice coat of white to all of the jewelry. You're most welcome to add anything new that you can think of. And this one's got a lovely big diamond on it. I'll make that lovely and shiny later. There we go. And I have a nice bracelet on as well. And that bracelet just tucks down underneath my wrist, so it doesn't look like it's laying on top of my wrist. You can also see it go behind my wrist a little bit there. Lovely. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. There we go, beautiful. Now my red nails are still drying, so what I'm going to do is put my nice bright yellow on top of my white for where I would like the bands of the jewelry to be. So I'm picking up a little bit of yellow, and I'm gonna do like a yellowy gold like band going around this ring. Now my yellow stands out so much more because there's a lovely bright white base under it. Very important step when you're using light colors. The white works almost like a primer, allowing light to shine through the yellow so it stands out beautiful and bright. I love that. I'm going to do the same on this bracelet as well. It's so bright. Just what I was looking for. Gorgeous. There we go. Now I'm going to let that dry, and whilst that's drying, I am going to start adding some fun details to the nails. First of all, clean your brush. We never leave paint sitting on our brushes. It ruins our bristles and we end up losing a brush. We don't want that. So lay your paintbrush down. Now to add the details to your nails, they're very small. Now what you can do is use a very, very fine little paintbrush like this one. If you don't have a fine paintbrush like that, you can also use, and I actually prefer this method, a sharp pencil. This gives you lots of control of where your paint is going and the size of the dots that you're leaving behind. Now to do this, I'm going to move my hand down a little bit so I can better access the nails. And here we go. I've got my sharp pencil. I'm going to go into the white paint. So you can see I'm getting a nice dollop of white on the end of my pencil here. And I'm going to start on this nail over here that's dry. I'm just going to do a polka dot pattern all over. You can come up with some beautiful, intricate designs for yours. Stripes, maybe even do fine images on there or come up with some sort of festive design. It's totally up to you. I'm keeping mine rather simple just to show you what you can do. So I'm going to do sporadically placed apart little spots. Just dabbing the pencil down, leaving a tiny bit of white behind. I love that. Wonderful. One here. There we go. One awesome looking nail done. I'm going to slowly work my way through the others, taking my time. Now, I find working in fine details like this a really relaxing activity. I concentrate so hard on the fine motor skills that I'm having to use. I just forget about everything else, relax and enjoy. So let's go. There we go, beautiful. I've got my funky polka dot fingers. Now what I'm going to do, my jewelry is dry, ready for some additional features, and I'm going to start by adding a nice base of a lovely green, like an emerald, to my little diamond here. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of yellow, tiny bit of blue in there, fold the two together. Now I also want to get some white in there to make a nice light base. Mix all of those up. Lovely. Remember, this is your masterpiece. You can do whatever you want for yours. I want a nice green for mine. There we are. So I'm going to do a nice base of green. Lovely. And I'm going to do a little bit of blue around the outside as well, just to make it look a little bit two-tone. You can do, again, have fun with yours. Experiment. You can have multiple rings on one hand if you would like to. Your masterpiece. Now I'm going to add a little bit of an orange to the yellow areas to give it more of a goldy kind of shadow. So again, a little bit of yellow, tiny bit of red in there. Doing beads would be really fun as well. If you were doing a bracelet, beads would be great because you could do so much to the design and the colors. Perhaps those beads where you have letters on them so you can spell out somebody's name. If you were thinking of doing a gift like this for someone, or even putting your own name, that would be really fun. Now I'm going to start on the edge here, a little bit of this lovely orangey color, and just gently pull it over so it kind of blends back into the yellow again. And then I'm going to do a nice solid orange on the little bit of bracelet that goes underneath my wrist. There we go, to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. Same on this one. And a little bit on this one. You can do as many of these as you want. You can do one for each season. Christmas would be really fun to do. Some funky festive fingers. Snowflakes on dark nails, like a dark blue or a black background with some beautiful fine snowflakes. That would look gorgeous. My ideas are rolling now. There's so much you could do. Now, my band here is very plain, so I think I'm going to add some little stones to it, and I'm thinking a light blue to make it look just a little more detailed and dazzly. So I've got some blue and white together. My white's very sticky, so I'm going to break it up with a little bit of water. There we go. Much better. All right. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just rolling with the polka dots right now and going the other way as well. Very nice. Got to have a matching ring. So I'll do 1, 2, 3 over there. Now I'm not going to do too much more on this. I'm just doing a really simple, fun little hand to show you what you can do. But if you're doing jewelry, chances are it's going to be made of a very shiny material. And a shiny material is going to have a bit of a highlight to it where the light is bouncing off of it. Now, highlights are fantastic at bringing areas to life. Really lifting it up, creating some volume. So a little bit of white paint here. And I'm going to do a nice little dazzle on my diamond here. My emerald, I should say. And a little bit of a shine on the white, on the yellow part of the band as well. A little bit down here too. There we go. And the last thing I want to do on mine is just use my black pencil here. I was using it to put on paint, so I'm going to make sure it's clean first. And I want to do just a little bit of a sharp outline to my jewelry to get it to stand out a little bit more so it matches the hand that I've drawn, that dark outline of the hand, just a basic template. So you can have some fun designing your own jewelry, coming up with your own nail designs, and just have fun. Do as many as you like. And there we go, guys. That is it. Super quick, super fun, and you can do whatever you want. Remember, very basic outline of your hand. Doesn't matter which one you do. You could even do both of them. Once you've got that done, sketch in the nails, add some super fun accessories, any designs that you like, then have some fun bringing it to life with color. I would love to see what kind of manicured creations you can come up with, so please share them with us. Remember, whatever you choose to do, the most important thing is that you have fun.